Daniel?
All right, we're ready. Yeah. So let me share my screen. I hope everybody can see the screen over there. So I'm going to get started. So we in Public Works started responding to the storm starting on New Year's Eve. And I would say we're still doing the same even right now, because despite the fact the storms are not here, however, the infrastructure seems to be continually impacted by the residual effect of this storm. To give you just a broader overview, we've received about 585 calls, emails, and we're still compiling the data. We've logged in almost 7,000 labor hours and storm response, about 8,000 equipment hours. We've removed over 2,200 cubic yard of mud and debris. We have closed over 20 county roads, some for a few hours, but some are still closed. And we've provided about 600 tons or 1.2 million pounds of sand. And as of yesterday, about 150,000 sandbags were provided. We approximate the infrastructure damage, this is strictly public infrastructure damage, to be about $20 million within Alameda County. Just to give you an idea, and the pictures are 1,000 words, like they say, San Lorenzo Creek at A. As you can see, this drone picture that the roadway has sloughed off on the house on the across has lost their balcony and patio area. To just look at the roadway itself, this is looking out into the road from the patio area, and this is a substantial impact on A Street. And now we have closed A Street between Hayward and Castro Valley, and it's impacting the community substantially. So we're hoping to fix this through some emergency construction so that we can actually open up this roadway in terms of allowing vehicles to go through. Here is Redwood Road. As you can see, the entire road is gone, basically. Unfortunately, Redwood Road experiences kind of problems whenever we have some severe storms. And this one is probably one of the worst I've seen in a very long time. And this roadway probably will be closed until we fix this thing permanently. There's no temporary fix for this kind of failure. And in terms of storm channels, the Estudio Canal downstream of Manor Boulevard in San Leandro, as you can see, the drainage walls have gone and has started eroding private property. And as you can see further down, there's a lot of properties, fences, and some structures that are in a very precarious condition. You can also see where our staff in the middle of the storm trying to really go out there and try to kind of protect this private property, where we put in sandbags and tarp so that this does not affect further the private property. And I would like to say I really want to extend my great appreciation to our public works staff that actually go out there in the middle of the night, whether a storm or mudslide or anything else, and provide this kind of support to protect life and property in the community. Here's another one, San Leandro Creek behind Lee Avenue. As you can see, the storm's significance, a lot of people do not appreciate this, but has destroyed quite a bit of the bank, put a lot of structures in a very precarious condition, and total damage to some private property also. Here is another one, which is a creek behind Wingate Way. You can see the amount of destruction this storm has created, has washed out a substantial portion of the bank, making some fences and some structures hanging in a very precarious condition. This is on Patterson Pass in East County and Livermore. You can see a chunk of the roadway slope is gone, which means the structure is very unsafe. We have to close this road because we can't allow vehicles to go there, because it actually will worsen, at least further expand this failure beyond what you're seeing right here. And if we get the opportunity to fix this very quickly, we'll try to do that as soon as possible so that we can open up this roadway. This one is here in Palomares, a couple of locations. As you can see, a big sinkhole in the middle of the street has just emerged, and we have to fix this one because of that. And on the other side, on the right-hand side, you can see the amount of mud that slid onto the street, and you can't even see the street. There's too much mud that flew because of the storm and covered up the street. So we have to do all the cleanup work and fix this sinkhole at various locations along Palomares and open up this road as soon as possible. Here's another one on Palomares where you can see the slide. The roadway is kind of slid into the side drainage system, which left unattended would have taken the entire road away. So we put in tarps and temporary measures, but still we'll have to keep the roadway closed until these things are fixed. Here's another one just to show you the degree of mudslide that has occurred along Tesla Road. It looks like a dirt road. Underneath this dirt is an asphalt that actually is entirely covered by the slide that has occurred. And these are just, like I said, samples that I'm trying to share to show you the magnitude and the impact of this storm. And this has happened throughout the county in various locations. And this is just to give you an idea of the extent to which the storm has impacted our public infrastructure. Here's another one on Calaveras, same thing. You can see the road flooded, even though after the storm, you can see the mudslide across and also eroding the sides where the drainage system is connecting into private property. So this is the typical kind of situation you see quite a bit around the county. And here's another precarious one on Foothill Road where the arroyo is flowing in a very strong fashion, eroding a lot of the embankment, creating a very unstable shoulder condition to the roadway. Any movement could actually take this road away. So we have to take precautionary action and close Foothill for through traffic. And it is, we understand it's a major inconvenience, but a safety necessity to do so. Here is Killcare. A lot of folks probably have heard that. This is just to give you a picture of the kind of mudslide, various closures, even a vehicle that has been dragged into the creek or from private property to show you the magnitude of this storm. I think Paul earlier shared with you what the road looks like, a river, because of the amount of water that was flowing through. One thing I would like to emphasize is the fundamental purpose of public works during emergencies is to ensure that these infrastructures are cleared so that emergency vehicles, first responders, fire and police, and the sheriff and ambulances have easy access to various, whatever they are needed. So our entire focus is to make sure these mudslides, rock slides, and various things are actually out of the way so that ambulances and the various service providers can access residents. And Killcare is one of the areas where you see multiple locations where the slope has slid onto the street, and we have to go in and clear out so that people can have access to their homes and emergency services. And this storm was not just impacting the streets, mudslides only. There were several incidents where you have trees that are blocking the roadway. This one is just to give you on Welsh Creek Road a before and after picture right after the storm where a large tree has fell and blocked the roadway. We have to go out there and remove that and open up the road immediately. And this is one example. And another example on Collier Canyon, as you can see, there's a big tree that was blocking the road. And after what we have done, it has been cleared and accessible to emergency responders and constituents. This storm was very, very broad-based. It went throughout the entire state. It went throughout the entire county, and it impacted not just flood infrastructure, but road infrastructure. It's not just sinkholes, but also felled trees and flooding, and various other impacts. So it's been a very comprehensive storm that has impacted a lot of our residents and inconvenienced a lot of people and destroyed a few of our public infrastructure, in our estimation, about 20 million. And just to close up, we provided, like I said, about 150,000 sandbags, over 600 tons of sand. We have placed these things at various locations, various fire stations throughout the unincorporated area. We have them in our corp yards in Hayward and Dublin and various other locations, also collaborated with all of our partners in the various cities and districts so that people could actually also help themselves with sandbags in protecting their properties. And this is what you see. And I really think our preparedness and responsive team in Public Works and other partners have really helped mitigate the potentially could have been a lot worse than what we have experienced, but it looks like the due diligence of staff and others have resulted in at least mitigating some of the negative impact of this storm. I think with that, I'll pass it on to the next speaker, and I'll be ready to answer any question you may have.